Hong Kong prepares for National Security Education Day tomorrow. And customs are planning new ways to combat illegal cigarettes. Many countries have reacted with alarm after the Iranian attack on Israel. Beijing called for calm and restraint, while Egypt spoke of deep concern. David Garrett reports.
Reacting to the Iran attack, Beijing's foreign ministry expressed deep concern and called on parties to exercise calm and restraint to prevent further escalations. A spokesperson described it as a spillover from the Gaza war, saying the conflict should end now, adding China calls on countries with influence to play a constructive role for peace.
I want to say God bless the people of Israel. They're under attack right now. That's because we show great weakness, and it would not have happened if we were in office. You know that. They know that. Everybody knows that. But America prays for Israel. We send our absolute support to everyone in harm's way.
A United Nations Security Council meeting will be convened later. Antonio Guterres condemned the Iranian onslaught. The Secretary-General called for an immediate cessation of hostilities. He urged all parties to exercise maximum restraint to avoid military confrontations on multiple fronts in the Middle East. Guterres said neither the region nor the world can afford another war. Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel was ready for any scenario. He appreciated the US standing by Israel's side as he mentioned the support of Great Britain, France and others. We will defend ourselves calmly, Netanyahu says, as France said Iran had crossed a new threshold.
Multiple thresholds have been crossed here that have not been crossed before. I think it is correct to say that we're going to be looking at a new Middle East in the future. We all want to avoid a regional war, but the question is, how do you best achieve it?
The European Union condemned the attack in the strongest terms, calling it a grave threat to regional security. Speaking during his visit to China, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz offered support to Israel, adding he hopes Beijing can help cool tensions. Germany's foreign minister has called on Iran to stop. David Garrett, TVB News.
In Hong Kong, it will be National Security Education Day tomorrow. The Committee for Safeguarding National Security will hold an opening ceremony with a senior Beijing official on Hong Kong affairs invited to deliver a keynote speech via video link. The National Security Education Day enters its 9th year. The Committee for Safeguarding National Security will hold a ceremony at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Centre in Wan Chai. Director of the State Council's Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office, Xia Baolong, will join the event virtually along with top officials from his bureau. He will also deliver a keynote speech from Beijing. Welcoming that, Chief Executive John Lee, also the chairman of the National Security Committee, said this year marks the 10th anniversary of the holistic approach to national security put forward by President Xi Jinping, and it's the first National Security Education Day held after the legislation of Article 23 in Hong Kong. He added, with the increasingly complex geopolitical situation, national security risks and threats remain imminent, so the public must remain vigilant. Xia Baolong embarked on a fact-finding trip to Hong Kong in mid-April last year. He attended the opening ceremony of the National Security Education Day in person at the time and expressed hopes that Hong Kong could be alert in safeguarding national security. Marking the occasion, the Fire and Ambulance Services Academy in Pak Shing Kok held an open day. Apart from demonstrations of rescue efforts in various scenarios, there were game booths for visitors to understand more about their work. Commissioner of Customs and Excise Louise Ho said authorities plan to print codes on cigarettes or cigarette boxes to combat illegal tobacco. The government raised the price of each packet of cigarettes to nearly $100 in February. Speaking to TVB News, Commissioner of Customs and Excise Louise Ho said the department seized 86 million sticks of cigarettes in the past 1.5 months. Ho said authorities may include offenses related to cigarette smuggling into the appendix of the Organized and Serious Crimes Ordinance. Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Kevin Yeung said he believes it is possible fewer local athletes will qualify for the Paris Olympics in July than the Games in Tokyo. Hong Kong athletes won 1 gold, 2 silver and 3 bronze medals in the Tokyo Olympics, a record-breaking achievement in the city's sports history. Speaking on a TVB program, Kevin Yeung said he will not forecast if athletes can maintain the same performance in the upcoming Olympics. He said it is important for the athletes to show their ability. Medical and education authorities said parents are less willing to have their children vaccinated against influenza after COVID. Authorities say they are not satisfied with the vaccination rate among children, but the use of nasal spray may be a solution. Mimosa Ngai reports.
Children are often more susceptible to infection by virus because of their less developed immune system. While vaccines can provide greater protection to children against viruses, including seasonal influenza, the vaccination rate among children in the city remains low. Up until April 1st, the vaccination rate for children aged between 6 months and under 6 years old was 47.5%. The vaccination rate for children aged between 6 and under 12 years old, meanwhile, was 67.7%. A specialist doctor said many parents are reluctant to take their children for traditional injections, intramuscular vaccines, after the COVID pandemic.
The parents or the child, they were afraid of the needles, and also when you hold the child steady and put the needle into the arm, and in fact the child will cry, and also all the subsequent psychological disturbance or the trauma to the child. This in fact the whole process will affect the acceptance of the whole family.
President of the Hong Kong Early Childhood Educators Association, Rosa Chow, said a survey was conducted among 152 representatives from the education sector between March and April, asking their views on seasonal influenza vaccines. Nearly 60% of the interviewees said they prefer children receiving nasal spray flu vaccines over the usual injections. They said children are more willing to have jabs when they do not see a needle injecting into their arms.
Speakers hope the government can expand the supply of nasal spray flu vaccines to primary schools and enhance the vaccination rate among school children in the city. Mimosa Ngai, TVB News.
And still ahead, leading international management consultant advises Hong Kong to revitalize some sectors. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz starts 3-day visit to China. Welcome back. To seek solutions to the many challenges Hong Kong is facing on the economic front, it is often useful to have high-level insights from an international perspective. TVB News spoke with Zhou Ngai, Greater China Chairman of McKinsey & Company, a leading global management consulting firm, on what Hong Kong should do. He suggests the city should re-strategize its financial and tech sectors. Hong Kong has to play catch-up in leveraging China's booming high-tech manufacturing industry. That's according to Zhou Ngai, chairman of McKinsey's Greater China offices, overseeing the company's consultancy work across Beijing, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Taipei. He said that's especially important amid a slowing economy.
If you think about high-tech manufacturing, China is at the forefront of what's happening globally. The question for Hong Kong is how do we also get a piece of that action, whether it is on the supply chain or the financing. Yes, it seems to be a bit of a slowing down right now in Hong Kong post-COVID, but I do think that if you look at the positivity in the economy, I think there's still a lot that will be coming, and the question is for us, can we grab the opportunity?
They include grabbing the opportunity to provide financial services targeting Chinese tech companies, Zhou said. As the helmsman of the American company's Chinese business, what's his advice for companies grappling with Sino-US tension as well as the geopolitical risks with ongoing wars?
There is a lot of what I call political theater, and there is actually a business reality as we see increasing competition on all fronts. I do think, though, that from a global perspective, of course, there are many companies or multinationals who are thinking around a more diverse supply chain, a more diversified, countries. There's competition, but more importantly, we have to innovate to stay in front.
What about external uncertainty and the slowing foreign direct investment in the country?
That pace of investment in the past, I don't think can be sustained forever, right? So you do go from a very high intensive investment into a sort of a medium term. All of us need to get used to this world, right?
Zhou Ai also highlighted his optimism in China's green industries and sustainability-related sectors, whether it be solar panels, wind energy, or electric vehicles, which he believes will cement their global position in scale and efficiency alongside lower price points. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has arrived in Chongqing, kicking off his 3-day visit to China. This is Scholz's second visit to China since taking office. Scholz is also leading a business delegation with representatives from BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Siemens. After visiting Chongqing, they will head to Shanghai and Beijing, where Scholz will meet President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang. Following the deadly knife attack in Sydney yesterday, a police officer and several bystanders are being held for running towards danger to confront the attacker who stabbed and killed 6 people at a suburban shopping centre. David Garrett with more.
Flowers for the dead. Australia's Prime Minister leading remembrance for the 5 women and 1 man who lost their lives after a man went on the rampage with a knife on a busy Saturday in a shopping centre. Anthony Albanese led tributes to the victims.
Australians are waking up to try to deal with the shock and trauma that will come with what has occurred, with violent actions that are unspeakable and really just beyond comprehension. People going about their Saturday afternoon shopping should be safe.
8 people were injured, including a baby girl. Police say the family of the assailant, who carried out his crimes at the well-known Westfield shopping centre in Bondi Junction, are cooperating with officers. The attacker has been named as 40-year-old Joel Cauchi.
I can say that the man has never been arrested by police in Queensland, nor has he been charged with any criminal offence. He has been in contact with the police, primarily in the last 4 to 5 years.
Shopper Rowan filmed on his mobile from the above floor of the mall as the man stalked the premises with a blade. He saw the man shot dead by police.
When I took my footage, it was about 15 seconds maybe before he was shot by the police officer, and he'd already killed a number of people.
It is said the attacker's family's thoughts are with the loved ones of those Cauchi killed.
It's a difficult time to tell anyone they've lost their son. Their first thoughts for us were to express their concerns regarding the family and victims of these crimes, and in particular their thoughts around the police officer who had to bravely act in such a manner.
The man is said to have had mental health problems. Police weren't treating the attack as terrorism related. David Garrett, TVB News.
Now a look at a new way to make hamburgers. A fast food restaurant in Los Angeles is using robots. This from NBC News.
The burgers at this Los Angeles fast food restaurant are classic, but the workers may be the future. Cali Express touts itself as the world's first fully autonomous restaurant.
Okay, you're gonna help me get Wally to make me a burger, is that right?
From facial recognition as you order.
So go ahead and put in your order.
Okay. So we'll do the burger with everything and some raw onion, of course.
To the robot chefs behind the counter, almost everything here is made by machines. The fries by a robot called Flippy.
Flippy is using his robot arm to grab a basket. He's going to bring it over here to this freezer, and we'll dispense an order of fries into it. Because a robot arm is just a robot arm, but the secret sauce here is the AI that really powers it.
And for the main course, there's the burger bot, grinding the meat fresh, forming patties, and grilling to order.
As it spins around and as it gets to the end, it'll scoop it up and it'll dump it into this bucket.
Major chains are already starting to bite into AI and automation. Wendy's experimenting with AI-powered drive-thrus.
Welcome to Wendy's. What would you like?
Salad chain Sweetgreen has salads rotating through automation. Chipotle even has robots building its burrito bowls.
What would you say to people that say, listen, this is taking away jobs?
Restaurants have a really hard time finding workers, and it costs them a lot to have those workers. So you want to be very thoughtful about where you put those workers, because Working the fry station is a pretty undesirable job. It's dangerous. You burn your arms.
Automation will likely eliminate some jobs. That may be inevitable. They didn't choose that it's 30%.
But Brian Justy, who researches labor practices at UCLA, warns an all-robot kitchen may not be on the menu anytime soon.
I think there's a kind of significant smoke and mirrors trick happening here where you get claims of full automation.
Because even at what they call the world's first fully autonomous restaurant, there's Genoveva.
The robot helps me out a lot, and then I help the robot in turn.
She makes these burgers whole, adding toppings and, of course, the bun, something these robots haven't quite mastered yet.
All right, let's try this. Not bad.
A bite into the future, whether we're ready or not. Alwyn Lopez, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching.